Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Reading Arabic with Muna. Today's lesson is about the Arabic letter Dha. The letter Dha is the 17th letter of the Arabic alphabet. The letter Dha is one of the two letters that share the same shape with the Ta from the previous lesson, except that the Dha has a dot. In the Arabic language, the letter Dha is a rare sound in that it can be compared to the letter Dhaad, as both are hardly to exist in the world languages. Even though it is a rare letter and sound, it is different from the letter Dhaad because it is much easier to practice and master. This is because when we break down the sound of Dha, we can describe it as a heavier emphatic version of the letter Thal. This straightforward shift from the sound of Dhal to Dha makes it easy to practice and master. And in our practice session, inshallah, we will learn how to exactly shift from the standard plain sound to the heavier one. Now, the letter Dha may be easy to learn, practice, and master in a short time. But the problem with the letter Dha, and I think this is one of the reasons that it is a rare sound, that it is very difficult for this letter to represent itself in the international market. So as a sound, it exists, but as an international identity, it has a problem. So when you say Dha in Arabic, how are you going to represent this sound in English or in the Latin letters? This is the problem with the letter Dhaad. Let's take a look at the Arabic sounds that we learned so far from the previous lessons. We learned Kha, Bad, Ha, Sad, Qal. All of these letters, we looked at English letters that represented them. The easiest were the Kha and Dad. Why is that? Because the K is the closest articulation or place of the mouth that produces the Kha sound. Ka, Kha. They are close to each other. And the H is the indicator for the Kha sound in the original language. The same with the Dad. With Ha, Sad, and Ta, things are a bit complicated because we only have one letter, so the non-Arabic speakers, they will assume that these are the letters that are in the original language. Again, that's not a big deal in casual communication. But the problem with Dha is that the letter Dha is not represented in only one fixed letter or a combination of letters, like Kha, for example, KH, or like the letter Sad is just replaced by the letter S. It has many other options. One option to write the letter Dha in English is by replacing it with the two letters DH. The other option is by replacing the letter Dha with the letter Z. Now, why do we have these options? Because simply we don't have a fixed letter that everyone agreed on that this is the letter for the Arabic Dha. So people depend on the way they pronounce it. They pronounce it originally in their dialects. This is why we have so many spellings for this Dha sound. And this is one of the reasons that makes the Dha sound very rare and almost losing its identity. Now let's read some examples of words containing Dha written in English. Dhahran, Dhahran. Dhahran is a famous Saudi city in the eastern region. It is written and pronounced Dah in English. Dhahran, Dhahran. Abu Dhabi, the capital of the Arabic United Emirates. Abu Dhabi, it is originally, or in the Arabic language, Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. But as you can notice or you can sense, it is Abu Dhabi. The Dah sound. Dah is totally different than Va. But as I told you, it's a rare sound. It is very difficult to find a letter that nearly or indirectly be an equivalent. So they, especially in the Gulf states, they use the DH. But again, this is confusing because it is pronounced da and it is written with DH, which give you the impression that this is Dhaad. And the last example, Dhufar. Dhufar is a region in Oman. It is written Dhufar. Dhufar. Now let's see examples with the Zah sound. المظلات. It is originally المظلات, but because in Arabic, in Egyptian Arabic, they say mazallat. So it is the dha here, it is replaced with the za because the za is a near sound to the za. Za is the pronunciation of the Egyptian Arabic for the letter dha. Al-Mazloom. This is an area in Tripoli in Lebanon. The Arabic, the standard pronunciation is al-madloom, but they say it al-mazloom. Then accordingly, they will write it, the nearest sound to the za is za, so they write it al-mazloom. Now the last example is for a masculine name, dhafir. Dhafir. This is a common name in the Arabic regions, in different regions. Even in areas in Pakistan and India, I heard this name a lot. It is originally dhafir with the dha sound, but some write it with the dh spelling, so it becomes dhafir, dhafir. And some write the dha sound with the letter z, and it becomes, or the result is zafir. So you can notice the huge difference between the two sounds, although the original name is with only one letter, that is the lost identity va. Dhafir, zafir. Now all the previous discussion was about the confusion that the representation or the replacement of the English letters cause because the letter va has no equivalent or direct equivalent in the language. This will affect the way that people hear the names or the pronunciation of the letter. This is, as I told you, at the casual level, casual communication level, it's not a big deal as long as everyone is happy and everyone is accepting the way they pronounce their names. And now let's let's jump to the cousin letters, the and ba. And these two letters, they cause problems when they are heard the same because when swapping between these two letters, there's a difference in the meaning. Of course, when you swap between dha and da, of course, in some words there will be differences, but I just don't want to complicate things for you. I just want to focus on one minimal pairs, the da and the dha, and how swapping between the two letters can totally change the meaning of a word. So once you acquire the sound of both letters, of course you know the sound, you're familiar with the sound of the dha, and then once you acquire the dha sound, you can understand, learn new words, you will notice the huge difference in the meaning. So let's start with the first word, nadir, nadir. Nadir, nadir. Nadir means harbinger, a person who warns you. Nadir means equivalent. The second example, ذل, ظل. ذل, ظل. ذل means became humiliated. ظل means stayed. The last example, ظرف, ظرف. ظرف, ظرف. ظرف means shedding of tears, the action of crying, shedding of tears. ظرف means envelope. As we advance in our lessons, we will learn more words and your ears will be familiar with the differences of the sounds that has the same articulation. So let's just forget all this overloaded information that we just received and jump into the practice. That will be an easy one, inshallah. Now, in today's lesson, I'll be hosting again Mr. Tryhard. Actually, this is the last time he will be joining us in these lessons. So he will put all his efforts with the letter Dha. And as you know, when we are hosting Mr. Tryhard, we simply want to move from the plain standard sound to the heavier version. And in our case today, we want to move from the sound to the sound. Now, as usual, I am going to read 3 words. These 3 words represent 3 different variations of the sound. We start from top to bottom. The top here is the plain sound, and then we move to the heavier one. When we move to the heavier one, we want to mimic the exact sound of the letter Dha. So we want to put all our efforts and get help from Mr. Tryhard to exaggerate as much as we can. Let's start with the first word. Please read after me, and I want you to sense the position of your tongue. I want you to explain to yourself, where's my tongue now? What's happening with my tongue, okay? This, thus, though. This, thus, though. I think it is very clear the smooth movement from one sound to from one the sound to another. Here it is very quick. The sound. This is heavier. Thus and though. It is the heaviest among the 3 words. Now, what did you notice or what did you sense about your tongue? Yes, when we pronounce the sound, the tip of the tongue shows between the teeth. In all 3 words, right? This, thus, though. What about the rest of the tongue? The tip of your tongue shows a little bit of the tongue, the tip shows between the teeth. But what about the rest of the tongue? Is it raised? No, it is flat. The. Now the secret to shift from the to the is not the tip of the tongue. Because in the and the, both sounds, the tip of the tip of the tongue shows between the teeth. So the secret to the exact exaggerated sound is the rest of the tongue, the back of the tongue. With the letter the tongue is flat. But with the letter the back of the tongue is raised and it is curled inward. It becomes like a spoon. Try it now. Try exaggerating the sound and sense the position of your tongue. Let's exaggerate. This, thus, though. As you can notice here, we didn't find any difficulty with exaggerating the word though because it is already a heavy the sound. So, did you notice the difference at the back of your tongue with the and with the dha? With the tongue is flat, the back of the tongue is flat, but with the dha, it is a bit raised and curled inwards, shaping a spoon shape. Okay? Now, in this second exercise, we want to apply what we learned about the techniques of shifting from the plain sound to the heavier one. Here, we are testing our fluency and speed. So first, I will read the sentences with the standard sounds as you know them, as they are familiar to you in English. Then we are going to do all the exaggeration in the world. Because remember, this is the last time we'll be exaggerating and hosting Mr. Try Hard. So we want to try hard to give our best exaggeration and burst that we can do. Okay? So let's start. I would rather be there than being here. The weather is another story. My father and mother are with my brother. So let's get started. I would rather be there than being here. The weather is another story. My father and mother are with my brother. Again. I would rather be there than being here. The weather is another story. My father and mother are with my brother. So the only challenge here is that you have to speed up your reading so you can catch the sound and blend it with the other sounds of the words. Practice and you're gonna master it. I think we all agree that practicing pronouncing the letter Dha is an easy task because it is a straightforward letter. We just simply move from the standard plain the sound to the heavier Dha sound. So it's not going to be a big deal. And regarding the English way of writing the Dha sound and all this dilemma of the identity of the letter Dha, just forget about it. Because once you learn this letter and once you connect the letter with the shape and you understand or learn new words in Arabic, this is not going to be an issue. So let's see or let's listen to the sound in the neutral sound. With sukoon, when we apply harakat with fatha, with dhamma, and with kasra, ض, ض. And now let's listen to some Arabic words containing the letter Dha and listen carefully how the sound blends with other sounds.
اذكري لي يا صديقتي كلمات تبدأ بحرف الضاء. ظفر، ظرف، ظبي، ظهر.
And now let's move to the part where we connect the sound of this rare letter to its shape. Now all the connections I'll be making with the letter Dha will be from the examples I mentioned in the lesson today. The first thing is that I brought this beautiful animal from the corners of the slides into the center, and as you listened from the examples that this beautiful animal is called Dhabi. Dhabi. And Dhabi starts with the letter Dha. So this is the first clue. The second connection to the letter is the word I mentioned or the name of the city I mentioned, Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. This red area here of this map This whole area is for Abu Dhabi, a city in the United Arab Emirates. And Abu Dhabi contains the letter Dha too. But what's the connection between Abu Dhabi and Dhabi? You can notice the repetition of the word Dhabi, Abu Dhabi. Actually, Abu Dhabi is named after this famous animal because this is a common animal found a lot in this area of the Arab Peninsula. So it is basically named after being the land of the Ba. The Ba is the plural for Dhabi. So this is why it is called Abu Dhabi. So we have two words, Dhabi, Abu Dhabi, and they both start with the letter Dha. Dhabi and Abu Dhabi. And this is a rare animal, like the rare sound and letter of the Arabic alphabet Dha. One more thing, if we want to be more imaginative and a bit crazy, if you look at this fuller part of the animal, somehow it resembles this loop here of the Dha shape. And one of the horns can be considered the vertical line or stroke. And now for the dot, we can just simply look at this black spot on the face of this beautiful Dhabi. So I hope you sense the connections logically as I mentioned them, and I hope this is useful for you to never forget the letter Dha. That was all for today's lesson with the letter Dha. I hope you will never forget this rare sound, rare letter, rare circumstances and complications that came with this letter. And the bright side of the letter Dha is that it is the easiest challenging letter to practice pronouncing. Thank you for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.